People's minds, worn out in the blows and counter blows of their busy daily life, are cheered by waves of joy through various religious and social festivals. Taking break from the monotonous daily routine, people's lives vibrate with immense pleasure of meeting with loved and dear ones. And if we think a little, we can realize that almost every festival celebrated in our society are based on various religious faiths and are decorated with many colorful customs and rituals, most of which have become non spiritual, superficial exhibition of luxury with time. Naturally, question arises: what is the significance of these religious rituals? To find the answer, we have to look back on history.
From the very beginning of human civilization to modern times, questions about the mystery of creation and knowledge of self have arisen in a few human minds. And these seekers of knowledge have not hesitated a bit in devoting their whole lives finding the answer. Only a few among them had the fortune of having found the answer, the supreme cause, and enlightened their hearts with knowledge. Over the ages, Yogacharyas or spiritual teachers have awakened the world, have set a high bar of ideal of human life, and above all have discovered countless paths and philosophies to realize God, which in combination with social structure have become different religions in accordance with time and space, which have enriched the human soul.
The contribution of India in the history of the spirituality of the world is equivalent to the same of the sun in nourishing this planet. Under the guidance of Tattvadarshi Acharyas, that is, the teachers who have experienced the truth, in this very country, that absolute eternal supreme cause, the God, has been worshipped in different names and in different forms, through various symbols and idols for the sake of spiritual progress of the common masses. We have witnessed finest spiritual theories being manifested in our motherland. For that very reason, the utterance came out of Yuganayak Swami Vivekananda.
Every particle of dust of India is sacred to me. Even our air is sacred. India is a sacred land, a holy pilgrimage.
A very unique incident took place in this very land. The most sacred and dearest relation in this world is that of a mother with her child. And for the first time in this sacred land of spiritual upliftment, the supreme divine power was worshipped as mother. Avatar Varishta Sri Ramakrishna used to say,
মাতৃভাব শুদ্ধ ভাব সাধনার শেষ কথা
that the spirit of motherhood is the most sacred one. It is the highest level of sadhana or spiritual practice. But will only the spiritual seekers of highest level be eligible for worshipping the Mahashakti, the Divine Mother? With time, this Shakti Puja or worship of Divine Motherhood crossed the boundaries of caves and monasteries and entered into our society. Common people's lives got enriched having found this new idea, this new path.
Though the cause of creation, the supreme Mahashakti Mahamaya, is all embracing, all inclusive, and one, she has revealed herself in different forms over the consciousness of seekers or sadhaks. Among those forms, one is Devi Durga, the rider of lion, the bearer of 10 weapons, Mahishasur the slayer of Mahishasur. To be worshipped in spring according to Purans, Devi Durga was worshipped by Sri Ram in autumn, which is termed as Akal Bodhan, or commencement of worship in an unconventional time. Later, following this incident, Mother Durga has been being worshipped in the Bengali month of Ashwin on the occasion of Navaratri in different parts of India. Especially in Bengal, this worship of goddess Durga or Durga Puja has grown over time into a worldwide identity, and every year the celebration of this Durga Puja in Belur Mutt, along with other centers of Ramakrishna Mutt and Mission, in its own uniqueness elevates the devotees to a high spiritual realm.
After the Mahasamadhi of the Avatar Barishta Sri Ramakrishna, his monastic disciples, with his divine grace, started their monastic lives at Boranagar in 1886 and thus established the Ramakrishna Sangha. Later on, the Sangha was shifted to Belur on the banks of Holy Ganga, and at this very holy land of Belur Mutt in 1901, Jagat Janani goddess Durga was worshipped in earthen idols for the very first time in Ramakrishna Sangha. Though before this, Durga Puja was performed without earthen idols through Ghatasthapana and recitations from Chandi at Boranagar Mutt, and by offering puja to the holy Ghat and image of the goddess at Alambazar Mutt in 1897. It was in 1901 when the Durga Puja at Ramakrishna Sangha was celebrated with greatest flamboyance.
It was a unique time. Enlightening the world by new ideas, Swami Vivekananda was then staying at Belur Mutt at the banks of Holy Ganga. During this stay in his beloved motherland, a strong desire to arrange Durga Puja at the Mutt arose in Swamiji's heart.
Action followed desire. In the month of May that year, this idea started getting implemented. One day, Swamiji said to his disciple Sharat Chandra Chakraborty,
Get me a copy of Ashtavinshwati Tattva of Raghunandan as soon as possible.
What will you do with Raghunandan Sriti?
asked Sharat Chandra out of curiosity. Swamiji replied,
I have a desire to arrange Durgotsav at the Mutt this year. If budget permits, I will worship Mahamaya. That is why I want to study the rituals of Durgotsav. Next Sunday, when you come, collect and bring that scripture for me.
Next Sunday, after getting that book from disciple, Swamiji studied it completely within 4 to 5 days. On his next meeting with the disciple, Swamiji told,
I have studied the whole Smriti of Raghunandan given by you. Will worship the mother this year if I can. Raghunandan has said, Navyamang Pujayat Deving Kritva Rudhira Kardamam. That too will be done, if so she wishes.
Despite studying all the rituals of Durga Puja according to the scriptures, due to some unknown reason, Swamiji did not discuss about this any further in next 3 to 4 months. Neither any arrangement of the puja including bringing the idol of Devi Durga, nor even any discussion about the same was seen to be held even 10 to 12 days before the puja.
only a few days were left for the puja when two divine incidents took place. One day, Swami Brahmananda, the spiritual son of Sri Ramakrishna and the then president of Ramakrishna Mutt, while sitting on the banks of Ganga at the Mutt premises, had a vision that Devi Durga arrived at the Mutt from Dakshineshwar walking through the holy river. On that day, Swamiji went to Kolkata, and immediately after returning, he looked for Swami Brahmananda.
Where is Raja?
After meeting him, Swamiji said,
This year, Durga Puja has to be performed in idolatry. Make all necessary arrangements.
I will give you my words after 2 days. Time is very short. Let's see whether we can get any idol. Give me 2 days of time.
Raja Maharaj replied to this sudden proposal. Answering Maharaj, Swamiji told him about his vision of Devi Durga being worshipped in her holy idol at the Mutt. Then Raja Maharaj also told his dear brother disciple about the similar divine vision he himself had.
The clouds of doubts were cast away. The residents of Mutt came to know about the visions of Swamiji and Maharaj and the decision of Durga Puja. Arrangements began in high spirits among the young monks and brahmacharis. Brahmachari Krishnalal, later Swami Dhirananda, as instructed by Maharaj, went to Kumartuli in search of idol. Having only 3 to 4 days left for the puja, it was quite impossible to get one. But when Mahamaya herself has come to accept the offerings, how can there be any obstacle?
মাকে দেখবো বলে ভাবো না কেউ করোনায়া মাকে দেখবো বলে ভাবো না কেউ করোনায়া সে যে তোমার আমার মা শুধু নয় তোমার আমার মা শুধু নয় জগতের মা সবাকা
Brahmachari Krishnalal found that there is still an idol available at Kumartuli. The person who had ordered it was yet to come and take the idol. The artist would confirm a day later to whom he would be selling it. Belur Mutt was immediately informed. Swamiji, along with Swami Premananda, rushed to 16A Bosepara Lane, Kolkata. Sangajanani, Holy Mother Sharda Devi, was residing there at that time. She gave her consent to this endeavor, but the permission of animal sacrifice was not granted. Her clear mention was, "A monk shall love every creature unconditionally and free them from all worldly fears. They must not indulge in animal sacrifice." Swamiji realized this was no ordinary impulsive prohibition. The Mother of the Universe, who came to this world as Sita with Sri Ram and as Sri Radhika with Krishna, has herself incarnated as Sri Ma Sharda, the wife of Sri Ramakrishna.
ধরো বিরিঞ্চি শিব বিষ্ণু রূপ সৃজনলয় পালনে ধরো বিরিঞ্চি শিব বিষ্ণু রূপ সৃজনলয় পালনে কমলাসনে।
Without any hesitation, Swamiji adhered to the direction of Holy Mother and gave up the desire of sacrificing animals. After getting consent from living Durga, Swamiji sent message to Brahmachari Krishnalal.
Bring the idol anyhow.
What happened next was inevitable. In due time, the last Durga idol of 1901 was sold to the sannyasis of Belur Mutt. The land where resides the Yuga Avatar, the land which has embraced the holy feet of the Divine Mother during her divine play, has now been graced once again by the arrival of Devi Durga.
মঙ্গলময়ী বিশ্বজননী এসেছে আজকে দ্বারে জননী এসেছে দ্বারে মঙ্গলময়ী বিশ্বজননী মঙ্গলময়ী বিশ্বজননী।
In due time, the last idol of Devi Durga in Kumartuli that year was handed over to the monks of Belur Mutt. Belur Mutt was flooded with joy. A couple of days before commencement of puja on Mahashashti, the idol of Devi was brought to the mutt by Swami Nirbhayananda, Brahmachari Krishnalal, with the help of other monks and brahmacharis. The idol was kept at the ground floor of the mutt building, and soon it started raining heavily. As if Mother Earth is preparing herself to be decorated before the puja, Swamiji felt relaxed as the idol reached safely before it started raining.
The adjacent garden house of Nilambar Mukherjee was rented for 1 month for staying of Shrima Sharada and other female devotees. On the other hand, rest of the preparations were being made under the guidance of Raja Maharaj. Swamiji praised Raja Maharaj and the monks who assisted him for the perfect and flawless preparations. Swamiji used to sing while sitting under a bale tree at Belur Mutt. বিল্ল বৃক্ষ মূলে পাতিয়া বোধন গণেশের কল্যাণে গৌরীর আগমন. The evening prayer of Adhibas was offered under the same tree. This is the tree beside which was erected the Samadhi Mandir of Swamiji following the cremation of his mortal body after Mahasamadhi.
The idol was kept in a large pandal at the free space to the north of the Mutt temple, presently the old shrine. The household disciples of Sri Ramakrishna and other householders and eminent Brahmin scholars were invited from nearby.
In due time arrived the long-awaited day of Mahashashti, 18th of October 1901, the day of invocation of the Divine Mother. On that day, Shrima, along with other female devotees, arrived at the garden house of Nilambar Mukherjee and stayed there for the next 3 days to take part in the puja. Brahmachari Krishnalal was selected the priest and Ishwar Chandra Chakravarti, father of Shashi Maharaj, the Tantradharak.
At the time of commencement of puja, Swamiji said,
We are monks. We shall not offer puja on our behalf.
Shri Ma gave permission to offer puja, taking oath or sankalpa on her behalf. Her gracious presence in the puja ceremony poured limitless joy to the hearts of all. The news of Durga Puja by the all-renouncing monks spread in no time. Numerous devotees came to the mutt to witness the puja. In due course started the puja of Mahasaptami. It was a magnificent coherence. The sky was vibrant with colors welcoming the Divine Mother, the rose of Kash flower dancing in the breeze, the holy Ganga flowing just beside the pious land where the Mahamaya was being worshipped in her earthen idol.
The next day, Mahashtami. On this day, the goddess is worshipped through some special rituals. Puja started as per schedule, but a very unique incident took place on this day. Not only in Mrinmayi or earthen idols, but the Divine Mother was also worshipped in her Chinmayi form. As per Swamiji's desire, 9 Kumaris were worshipped on this day. This is not the first instance of Kumari Puja in Swamiji's life. In 1898, during his visit to Kashmir, he worshipped a young Muslim girl as Divine Mother, breaking all the social restrictions and religious bondages, and proved that God is not limited by religion or social kiddles. Again in 1899, during his visit to Kanyakumari, he performed Kumari Puja on the daughter of Manmata Bhattacharya, the then Deputy Accountant General of the city. In light of the same divine gesture, this time at Belur Mutt, Kumari Puja is getting performed. After the puja, Swamiji offered his salutations with pure devotion. To him, they were the manifestations of the Divine Mother. Swamiji was so immersed in divine experience of puja that while offering chandan or sandalwood paste to their foreheads, he suddenly exclaimed in repentance,
Ah, did I hurt the third eye of Devi?
Yugacharya once again reminded us that the living beings are the highest manifestations of God.
On the eve of Mahashtami, Swamiji came to Shrima with a very strange prayer. After all, who can understand the divine play of Mother's beloved Naren? Swamiji prayed,
Mother, please make me lie down with fever.
and no sooner had he said this than he was down with a severe attack of fever. But Shrima got severely worried in this event. Seeing this, Swamiji consoled her.
Do not be anxious, Mother. I have myself begged for this fever. My reason is this. These boys are working hard, but if I see the slightest mistake, I shall fly into a rage and abuse them. I may even give them slaps. It will be painful to them as well as to me. Therefore, I thought it would be better to lie down with fever for some time.
Shri Ma was relieved a bit. Who else can love with such warmth? In spite of fever, Swamiji offered his Puspanjali during Sandhi Puja and returned to his room.
Eventually arrived the third day of puja, the sacred day of Mahanavami. Though Swamiji couldn't make it to the pandal due to health issues, it did not lessen the euphoria of the celebration. The pious recitations from the Vedas and the sounds of drums and bells echoed in every direction. Numerous devotees, regardless of their castes and creeds, bathed in the waves of joy and divinity. There was no discrimination. Everyone was cordially welcome to the celebration. Just like the rest of the days, arrangements of Naranarayan Seva, that is, the feeding of the masses with a sense of service, were made in large scale. No one should remain unfed on the occasion of worshipping the Annapurna. According to the rituals, the custom of sacrifice is a part of Navami Puja, symbolizing self-sacrifice. But instead of commonly performed animal sacrifice, various fruits and vegetables were offered to the goddess as per the earlier instructions of Shankhajarani Shri Shri Ma. Thus, a unique example of Shakti Puja was set before the world.
Feeling better in the afternoon, Swamiji came to the pandal. In front of the deity, he sang the same songs which his Guru Sri Ramakrishna used to sing on the evening of Mahanavami. Swamiji gave rupees 25 to Sri Sri Ma, which was later received by Tantradharak Ishwar Chandra Chakravarti from her as Dakshina upon the completion of Mahanavami's Homa.
In due time arrived Vijaya Dashami, the concluding day of Durga Puja. On this day also Mahamaya was worshipped according to the rituals, and the premise was crowded by numerous devotees. Those orthodox Hindu Brahmins who had criticized the Belur Math, speculating about the disobedience of Hindu customs by the monks, were now satisfied, realizing that the monks of Belur Math do not disobey Hindu Dharma.
Now, the idol of the deity has to be immersed into the Ganga. By the grace of Thakur, all the arrangements of the Visarjan were flawless. Mounted on the shoulders of the monks, the idol was taken to the boat of the Munshis with the accompaniment of band party. Raja Maharaj rowed the boat and started his charming dance with the rhythm of the music played by the bands, as if Sri Krishna himself is dancing in front of the Divine Mother. Swamiji enjoyed this splendid view from the balcony of the second floor of the mutt. The idol of the deity was immersed into the holy Ganga with magnificence and flamboyant ceremony. Coming out from the hearts of the devotees and accepting their offerings, the Divine Mother again returned to their sacred hearts.
একবার বিরাজ গো মা হৃদি কমলাসনে, একবার বিরাজ গো মা হৃদি কমলাসনে। তোমার ভুবন ভরা রূপটি একবার দেখে লই মানয়নে, তোমার ভুবন ভরা রূপটি একবার দেখে লই মানয়নে কমলাসনে।
After the completion of the puja, Shrima Sharada came to Swamiji's room and called Naren with affection. Her beloved son was not yet recovered.
Yes, mother, I was just going to get well.
Replied Swamiji, and at once recovered from illness. On that very day, Holy Mother returned to Bagbazar. The grand ceremony of 4 days comes to an end. Nature is still smiling in joy with the tunes of togetherness. But these 4 days, however grand and joyous they be, still are just a grain or two from the huge pile of sugar. This was Swamiji's last puja in his mortal body. One by one, the other disciples of Sri Ramakrishna bid adieu to this mortal world in due time. The Holy Mother ended her divine play in 1920. But is that the end of everything, or the beginning of a new journey at a new dawn with its pious sunshine? The world comes to know it is the Divine Mother pervading across all the creation. Not just a statement of philosophy, but if summoned eagerly, she responds to her devotees. Not to a mind full of discrimination and selfishness, but to the one who is selfless in his deeds, who loves all and serves, knowing it to be the manifestation of the divine. Service to man is service to God. The tradition is being followed at Belur Math till day. Every year, the Durga Puja is held here with sheer devotion. Not an element of material pleasure of patriarchy, but all the women are the manifestation of Mahamaya. Swamiji used to say, as is the contribution of both the wings for a bird to fly high, so is the contribution of women alongside that of a man for the society to progress. Keeping that in mind, every year the Kumari Puja also takes place at Swamiji's Belur Math during Durga Puja. O man, open your eyes and see. See the eternal light of bliss blazing out of the Holy Land. Dive deep into your holy heart and feel the ever-flowing breeze of grace. Raise the sails high, let the boat of your life sail towards the supreme land of eternity. Let your heart be the temple of the divine. Fear not, Lord himself will be the boatman. Mahamaya will remove all thy obstacles. The child of immortal bliss will realize immortality.